Jupyter.org. That's Jupyter.org. And this is the official documentation page for the Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook is an open source interactive data science and scientific computing platform that can work actually across over 40 programming languages, not just Python. It's a really slick web application that actually allows you to create and share documents that contain not just live code, but equations, visualizations, and explanatory text. That's why it's a really great tool for teaching data science and Python libraries. I want you to scroll down on this page till you see the Ready to Get Started. And then I want you to click on Try it in your browser. And that should take you to this page, try.jupyter.org. And this is essentially a hosted online version of Jupyter. We're not going to be using an online version. We'll show you how to download everything locally, but I just wanted you to know that this is an option for you in case you ever want to quickly just jump to a browser and start working with Jupyter. When you actually download Jupyter and have it on your computer and run it, you'll get something that looks similar to this. And then to start a new notebook, you can click here on New, and you should see text file, folder, terminal, and then some notebook options. Now you're not going to have all these options on your computer. Most likely you'll just have the option Python 2, Python 3, or Python root, one of those. Most likely it's going to just be Python root. You can go ahead and then click on one of these, and it will create a new notebook. And then you can go ahead and start typing in Python code, such as print, hello, run this cell, and it should all be working. Now we'll go over in a future lecture how Jupyter Notebooks actually work, how to run cells, etc., how to actually manage the environment. But for now, I just wanted you to know about try.jupyter.org. Going back to jupyter.org, let's go ahead and install the notebook. Go ahead and click here on Install the Notebook, and it will take you to this link right here, the Jupyter documentation page, installing the Jupyter Notebook. Now, while Jupyter runs code in many programming languages, what we're going to be using it for is Python. And what we're going to do is use the Anaconda distribution in order to install a Jupyter Notebook. So if you go ahead and kind of zoom in here, you'll see that installing Jupyter using Anaconda and Conda. Like I mentioned, for new users, it's highly recommended that you install Anaconda. Anaconda conveniently installs everything for you. What you're going to go ahead and do is just follow these 3 installation steps. It's really simple. You're going to just download Anaconda, so go ahead and click that link. Then you're going to install the version of Anaconda which you downloaded, and then once you've installed the Jupyter Notebook, to run the notebook, either go to your command prompt or your terminal, and you just type Jupyter space notebook. Let me go ahead and show you what that Anaconda link looks like. It looks something like this, and you'll notice that there's a couple options for you. It says download Anaconda now, and there's basically a download for Windows, Mac users, or Linux users. And that will just take you over here to the actual download page. So if you're downloading for Windows, go ahead and click on Python 3.5, and depending on what kind of computer you have, either 64-bit or 32-bit, if it's a newer computer, most likely you have 64-bit, you can just go ahead and click on this installer. Or if you're using Mac OS, go ahead and just click on the graphical installer for Mac OS. There is also a command line installer, but I would really recommend just doing the easy graphic installer method. All you have to do is download the graphical installer, double-click the downloaded.pkg file, and then just follow the on-screen instructions. If you're a Linux user, you can just go ahead and download the installer, and then just use the bash line in your terminal to actually install everything you need. Okay. So go ahead and click on the installer, download it, follow the instructions by just double-clicking that executable file, and everything should be working for you. Keep in mind this is quite a large installation. It's about 350 megabytes, but that's also because it includes all the packages we're going to be using throughout this course. So once you install this, you won't have to continually install the packages. So I understand that it's a pretty large download. There's also something called Mini Anaconda you can use, but I would still recommend that you just download the full package environment. That way you don't have to continually install stuff as you go throughout the course. Once you went ahead and downloaded and just followed the on-screen instructions for the installer, you'll go ahead and on the Windows computer, you can just come to your start, type in CMD. This will be your command prompt, and that will bring up this sort of command prompt here. And what you're going to go ahead and do is type in JUPYTER space notebook. If you're on a Mac OS, you're going to do the exact same thing, except instead of command prompt, you're going to do this on your terminal. You'll just do a Spotlight search for the word terminal, Terminal. You'll get a very similar environment or pop-up that looks like this. It'll probably be in all white instead of a black background. You'll do the exact same thing. You'll type in Jupyter space notebook, hit enter, and then in your browser, you'll actually get a window or new tab to pop up. And the new tab will look something like this. It'll be at localhost either 8000 or 8888/tree. And then you can go ahead and click here on New, and you'll get some options for Notebook. Most likely you won't have as many options as I do here. You'll either have something that says Python root or Python 3. Whatever it says, that's okay. You can just go ahead and click on one of these options, and you should get a Jupyter Notebook. If you can go ahead and just type in print, and in parentheses say hello, and then click here on run the cell, you should be good to go if that outputs hello. Okay, coming up next, we're going to give you more background on how to use the Jupyter Notebook as a development environment. And later on, we'll show you some other options as well for other IDEs in case you want to use something that's not Jupyter Notebook. All right, feel free to post any questions over the installation process to the Q&A forums, and I'll be happy to help you out. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you at the next lecture.